You've seen the diagrams your entire life. The perfect little circles, the clean orbital rings, the planets lined up neatly beside the sun like houses on a suburban street. And without realizing it, your brain accepted something completely false. The solar system feels compact to you, contained, organized, almost comfortable. A neighborhood. That lie was planted in your head when you were a child, and tonight we're going to destroy it. Because those diagrams are not just simplified, they're psychological vandalism. They compress something so enormous, so violently empty, that your brain never had the chance to actually feel it. They stole the scale from you, they stole the loneliness, they stole the terrifying truth of where Neptune really is. And once your mind finally sees that distance correctly, you will never look at the solar system the same way again. Not ever. You're going to miss the fake version, the cozy version, the one where planets looked close enough to visit on a lazy afternoon. Because the real solar system is not cozy. It's cold. It's scattered. It's horrifyingly empty. And Neptune? Neptune is where the illusion finally dies. I stumbled into this realization by accident. I was standing in my driveway holding a basketball. Nothing dramatic, no telescope, no scientific breakthrough, just a basketball in my hands and a dangerous thought entering my brain. What if this was the sun? Not symbolically, not representing the sun. What if this literally was the sun at scale? Then where is Earth? I thought I knew. I was catastrophically wrong, and when I asked where Neptune would be, the answer hit me with this strange emotional weight I wasn't prepared for. It stopped feeling like astronomy. It started feeling like isolation, like exile, like the universe quietly revealing how little the human mind was designed to understand distance. And the worst part? Your intuition is wrong too. Your brain is about to fail in real time. So let's begin with the basketball, a normal regulation basketball. About 24 centimeters across, you can hold it, spin it, bounce it against concrete. That object is now the sun. Every nuclear reaction happening inside our star, every solar flare, every burst of radiation, every sunrise you've ever seen, every beam of warmth that ever touched your skin, compressed into that basketball. Already, your brain is trying to shrink reality into something manageable. Don't let it. Because the moment we place Earth into this model, the fantasy collapses. Where do you think Earth is? Seriously. Pause and guess. Across the room, at the other side of the table, maybe outside the house, whatever answer your brain produced, it's still trapped inside the lie. Because the real answer feels wrong, violently wrong. Earth is about 26 meters away, not centimeters, meters. If you're standing on one end of a full basketball court holding the sun in your hands, Earth is at the opposite baseline, and Earth itself? Not a marble, not a golf ball, a peppercorn, barely 2 millimeters wide. That's your planet. Every ocean, every mountain, every city, every war, every religion, every poem, every funeral, every first kiss, every human who ever screamed, dreamed, ruled, suffered, loved, built, prayed, or died, compressed into a black peppercorn sitting 26 meters from a basketball. And suddenly the first disturbing realization appears. Between the basketball and the peppercorn, there is almost nothing. No glowing orbital line, no cosmic bridge, no visible connection, just empty air. 26 meters of silence. This is where your brain starts resisting reality, because every diagram you've ever seen erased that emptiness, compressed it, flattened it into something emotionally survivable. The truth cannot fit on paper. The truth barely fits inside consciousness. And this is still the inner solar system. We haven't even reached the nightmare yet. Before we go farther, look down at the peppercorn. Because orbiting that peppercorn is the farthest place humans have ever traveled, the moon. Surely the moon must be far away in this model, right? After all, astronauts cross space to reach it. People died trying to get there. But this is where scale becomes cruel. In our basketball model, the moon is only about 7 centimeters from Earth, 2 finger widths. That's it. And the moon itself? half a millimeter wide, a grain of sand. So now picture the scene clearly. A basketball at one end of a court, a peppercorn at the other, and beside the peppercorn, a grain of sand. That's the entire human story of space exploration. That microscopic gap. We crossed 7 centimeters and called it one of humanity's greatest achievements. And honestly, it was. Because the emptiness surrounding those objects is so hostile, so absolute, that even crossing 2 finger widths nearly killed us. Human intuition completely breaks here. The moon suddenly doesn't feel far away. It feels terrifyingly close. Now let's keep walking outward. Mars comes next. Your brain probably expects things to spread gradually now. A few more meters, maybe another court. No. Reality accelerates faster than your intuition can adapt. Mars sits nearly 40 meters from the basketball. Past the court, past the walls, out into open space. Then Jupiter appears. And this is where the scale starts becoming monstrous. Jupiter is more than 130 meters away, a full football field from the basketball sun. And remember, that's compressed, brutally compressed. Saturn, nearly 250 meters away, its beautiful rings drifting almost 3 football fields from the sun. Uranus, almost half a kilometer away. At this point, the planets stop feeling connected to each other. They stop feeling like a system. They feel abandoned, scattered into darkness like debris after an explosion. And then, Neptune. This is the moment your mental image dies. Because your brain still secretly believes Neptune can't be that far. Maybe across town, maybe down the road. Your intuition is desperately trying to protect itself. But the real answer is worse, much worse. The actual distance from the Sun to Neptune is about 4.5 billion kilometers. Not million, billion. And in our basketball model, Neptune is nearly 800 meters away. Nearly a kilometer. Let that land. If you're standing in your living room holding a basketball, Neptune is not in your house. It's not on your street. It's not even comfortably inside your neighborhood anymore. You would have to walk to it. You'd leave your driveway carrying the basketball. You'd pass houses, streetlights, crosswalks, shops, cars moving through intersections. People living entire lives completely unaware that you are carrying a model of the sun toward the edge of the solar system. And after nearly 800 meters, you finally arrive at a blueberry. A tiny blue sphere barely 8 millimeters wide. That's Neptune, the final planet, the edge of the known neighborhood, the last tiny island before interstellar darkness begins swallowing everything. And between the basketball and the blueberry, nothing. No glowing paths, no planetary traffic, no comforting structure. Just silence. Cold, endless silence. Your brain is trying to cope right now. It's saying, okay, 800 meters is far, but it's walkable. That's the trap. Because this model is already compressing reality to a nearly absurd degree. In the real solar system, light itself takes more than 4 hours to travel from the Sun to Neptune. Light, the fastest thing the universe allows to exist, moving at 300,000 kilometers per second. And even that needs hours to cross the distance from the basketball to the blueberry. Human intuition dies here. The solar system stops feeling like a place. It starts feeling like separation itself. And here's the part your brain still hasn't emotionally processed. Most of that distance is empty, not filled with planets, not filled with glowing cosmic scenery. Empty. Enough empty space to bury every world in the solar system hundreds of times over. Drifting islands in a freezing ocean of nothing. And then comes Voyager 2. This is where the loneliness becomes unbearable. In 1977, humans launched a machine from the peppercorn. A tiny spacecraft carrying our curiosity into the dark. Voyager 2 traveled faster than a rifle bullet, relentlessly, year after year. And it still took 12 years to reach Neptune. 12 years to cross the distance between the basketball and the blueberry. Think about that. A machine built by human hands, traveling faster than bullets, moving non-stop through the void. Needed over a decade just to arrive at the last planet. And when it finally got there, it only stayed briefly. A few photographs, a few measurements, then it kept going. Because Neptune wasn't the destination. Neptune was the final sign before the abyss. Voyager 2 is now more than 20 billion kilometers away from Earth. In this model, that's several kilometers beyond the Blueberry. So far away that the Sun, our enormous blazing star, has shrunk into just another bright point in a black ocean. And Voyager will never come back. Ever. No rescue mission, no return flight, no reunion. It is drifting permanently into interstellar darkness, carrying pieces of humanity with it. A machine launched from a peppercorn, 26 meters from a basketball, now wandering forever through a universe so enormous that return itself becomes meaningless. And now the Blueberry is trapped inside your head. You can feel it, can't you? That distance. That awful distance. Not a diagram, not a textbook illustration. A basketball, a blueberry. Nearly a kilometer of emptiness between them. That's the truth your brain was protected from. Because once you truly feel the scale of the solar system, the word neighborhood stops making sense. Every planet becomes an island. Every moon becomes isolated. Every object drifts alone through distances so enormous that human evolution never prepared your nervous system to emotionally survive them. And you're standing on a peppercorn, 26 meters from your star, floating in darkness, more physically isolated than your brain has ever honestly allowed itself to feel. Not metaphorically, literally. If every human scattered across the solar system, one person per planet, moon, asteroid, comet, we would disappear from each other forever. Not because we stopped caring, because distance itself would destroy communication. An 8-hour delay just to say hello to Neptune. 8 hours to hear the reply? That's not conversation anymore. That's haunting. But then something incredible happens. Something that completely changes the meaning of the emptiness. Because despite the darkness, despite the loneliness, despite the impossible distance between the basketball and the blueberry, we still reached for it. That's the part that destroys me. We looked at Neptune, cold, blue, nearly incomprehensibly far away, and instead of accepting defeat, we said, go there. We built Voyager, we built New Horizons, we built telescopes powerful enough to see details on a blueberry sitting 800 meters away. Think about how insane that is. A species born on a peppercorn, surrounding a basketball, inside a tiny corner of an incomprehensibly vast universe, refused to let distance win. We crossed the darkness with curiosity. We touched unreachable worlds with mathematics, radio waves, mirrors, cameras, and patience. That's not insignificance. That's rebellion against the scale of reality itself. So now here you are, holding a basketball in your imagination. And somewhere far away, almost a kilometer into the darkness, there's a blueberry. Tiny, blue, cold, silent, Neptune. The last planet before the stars. And between you and that blueberry exists enough empty space to make the human mind feel small beyond words. But maybe that's not the real lesson. Maybe the real lesson is this. The universe is impossibly vast. The emptiness is real. The loneliness is terrifying. And we reached across it anyway. We measured the darkness, named the planets, sent machines beyond the blueberry into interstellar night. Not because it was easy, because something inside us refuses surrender. You are a creature standing on a peppercorn, holding a basketball, staring at a blueberry nearly a kilometer away. And somehow, against all logic, your species touched it. That is not weakness. That is not insignificance. That is the most beautiful thing that has ever happened in the dark. And this is only the beginning.